My first girlfriend turned into the moon.
That's rough, buddy.
This is gonna be the easiest argument I will ever have to make. Just ever. Just done deal. It's done. The end. Hi Galaxies, it's Tia. Welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. It's been some time. I mean, now we're in quarantine. What is life? Life has just evolved into a different thing. This video is gonna be about why Avatar is the greatest greatest TV series, maybe the greatest creative production in history of all time, and why you should watch Avatar right now, especially because it's currently available in multiple countries, but it's available in Canada, it's available in the USA. Go on Netflix, binge watch it, no more excuses. It's 15 years old and it's a masterpiece, and it's honestly affected so many parts of my life. I would have never gone into YouTube or video editing or any sort of media production without Avatar, because Avatar is that great. And here are the reasons why. So the first reason why Avatar is amazing is because it is a study in world building. The world building in Avatar is insane. First of all, it's a typical fantasy landscape. It takes the idea of our world and divides our world into only 4 continents. And in Avatar, there is the Water Nation, the Fire Nation, the Earth Kingdom, and the Air Nation. Those are the different nations, the different peoples. And then within each single nation, it's very easy to distinguish who is from a certain nation based on the color of the clothing they wear. So everyone from the Water Tribe wears blue clothing, everyone from the Fire Nation wears red clothing, everyone from the Air Nation wears orange and yellow clothing, and everyone from the Earth Kingdom wears green clothing. And then within that, each one has their own culture. There's no unifying culture in the world really, because the air nomads, they're monks. I believe it's based on Tibetan monks. They're vegetarians, they have their beliefs, they live life differently, and on top of that, they have the ability to airbend. Now with the Water Nation, we have this idea of a lot of structure and being strict and being focused, but also like being fluid and flexible with the times. That's just the culture that they have, and they're based on like Inuit type of culture. A lot of people who live in the South Pole, and some people in the North Pole, they live in houses made out of ice and snow, or they live in actual igloos or just tents, especially in the Southern Pole where they have less resources and it's a harsher environment. Like their whole culture is more tribal and more about family and unification, and they're more likely to stay in one place versus the air nomads who travel from nation to nation, because that is the nature of their people. Then you have the Fire Nation. As I said, they wear red, but their culture is very militaristic. It's definitely a dictatorship. Everyone follows the rules. They essentially worship the Fire Lord, the person who is the overseer of the entire kingdom. Their anthem that they say in schools every day is like,
"My life I give to my country. With my hands I fight for Fire Lord and our forefathers. With my mind I seek ways to better my country. And with my feet
Airbenders, Fire Lord, blah 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 blah."
It's just so cool. And then with the Earth Kingdom, it is rigid because it's like Earth. Each nation has an element associated with them, and the personality of each nation is like the personality of their element. So Earth is more rigid, water is more fluid, air is more airy, gone with the wind, and fire is more passionate, it's more destructive. But at the same time, fire can also bring warmth, and that is so cool that the world is based on such a simple thing, but they don't like break the branding of each nation. Each nation has their own food. The Water Tribe has their own food. They got sea prunes. Fire Nation got their fire flakes. The Earth Kingdom has noodle soup. And with the air nomads, they're vegetarians, so they have custards and puddings and different types of fruits and vegetables that they eat. And then also another thing that's really interesting with the world is that each world has their own animals. So the Water Nation has their own specific animals, the flying penguins, and then the Earth Kingdom has their own animals like the ostrich horses. Fire Nation has Komodo rhinos. The air nomads have flying lemurs, and they have appa, sky bisons. So then in a world you have the people, you have the culture, you have the way that people look in each culture. It's not even like a racial thing, although with the Water Nation it's very evident that they're brown skinned compared to their other people. But in the nations themselves, they have their own clothing, own money system, own food, animals, personality type, cultural do's and don'ts, things that you don't do, things that you do, like their own traditions. And in the show, like without saying any of it and then without telling you any of it, except for one moment when Arrow was like,
"Air is the element of freedom. The air nomads detached themselves from worldly concerns and found peace and freedom. Also, they apparently had pretty good senses of humor.
But without doing any of that, you just absorb it and you just get all this information, which makes the show so vibrant and immersive. It's a lesson in world building. If you want to make anything in life, any creative project or whatever, take this as a perfect sample of how to build a world and then break it apart and then dive deep in all those areas that they touch. The second reason why Avatar is the greatest cartoon of all time and it's amazing is the artwork and the painting. Like, character design, great. I mean, it's like a traditional cartoon anime type of appearance. There's no oohs and ahs. There's no Studio Ghibli type of situation going on. For me, it's the scenery, it's the painting, it's the fact that I know that the creators of Avatar have been to different countries in the world, or they've seen photos of different lands and they've literally drawn those photos into illustrations and made that like the background painting. Like, look at the beautiful background artwork for the Water Tribe. You just see these gorgeous tundras and icebergs and just the blue hues, and everything is just melted so perfectly that you could just take a still of that and just stare at that. In fact, I do have stills of that in my bedroom because it's so beautiful. And then the Fire Nation, they have these gorgeous volcanoes and beautiful orange sunsets, and the beaches are so lovely. And in the Earth Kingdom, what I like the most about it is just Lost Say, the development of the cities, the development of the train systems. It has a lower class, middle class, and higher class, and how each ring has a high ring, middle ring, and low ring, and based on what your class is in the system, like, you live in that rank. I really love the overview of Ba Sing Se and how intricately detailed it is. And then for the air nomads, it's so cool how every temple is like a cliff in the mountain in the middle of nowhere. You can only access it by flying there because air nomads can fly. Yeah, I love that about it. And then number 3, voice acting. Voice acting in Avatar is brilliant. It's so good. First of all, my favorite voice actor in the entire series is without a doubt Zuko, like Dante Bosco.
I come from the Fire Nation. I can pull fire out of places, or if a fire is starting, I can control the fire and extend the fire or throw fire. It's been my duty to find the Avatar. I need to capture the Avatar! Iconic voice acting, iconic work of Zuko's voice. It's amazing. It's perfect. They could have not casted that role better if they. There's no, like, that voice, you seem to hear it, you just think Prince Zuko. Like, he can't go anywhere in his life anymore without being told he's Prince Zuko, because that voice is like perfect for that role. And then Katara Mae Whitman is great. She, like, there's a great sound for Katara. When you look at Katara and you hear Mae Whitman's voice, it's fitting. And Toph is wonderful. Toph's I don't care attitude is done so well by Jesse Flower. And Sokka is great. Aang is perfectly casted. I don't know what that voice actor is doing right now. I mean, he's like living his life, but he's so good. And Ozai is done by Mark Hamill. Hey, Luke Skywalker is the voice of Ozai. Come on now, Ozai is the Fire Lord. He is the father of Zuko, and he is the evil villain in the series, played by Luke Skywalker. The irony is not lost on me at all. And then Iroh's done by Mako, and then eventually his voice actor changes because unfortunately halfway through the series that voice actor did pass away, so they had to have a second one for Iroh, but his voice is amazingly done. And Azula Grey Leslie, oh, I love her so much.
You've beaten me at my own game.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
Grey Leslie, or Grey Griffin, how she goes now, but I met her at a convention once and it was amazing, and she's like spoke to me in the voice of Azula, and it made like my life. It made me so happy. Grey Leslie did the voice of Vicky in Timmy Turner. And then Serena Williams, yes, the tennis star Serena Williams, was so in love with Avatar that she asked to do like a cameo role in Avatar. And so in book 3, she plays a prison guard in book 3 very briefly, and it's just so cool to hear Serena Williams in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It just gives me the giddies. Number 4, character development. You need to create characters, you need to write something, write a movie, a script, a novel, whatever, and you need inspiration on how to write really, really, really good characters. Then you need to watch Avatar, because the character development Avatar is the best, if not comparable with Naruto, because Naruto's character development is insanity and it's amazing and it's just awesome. But the character development in Avatar is really, really good, particularly for Prince Zuko, one of the best character development situations ever that I've ever seen ever in any story. He goes from this like loving, kind child to someone who loses his mother, to someone whose father harms him,
Dad's going to kill you. Really? He is.
to someone who becomes banished, to someone who tries to find his destiny by trying to please his own father.
I was just trying to please you.
Even though his father never cared for him.
You don't know how my father feels about me.
And then he tries to figure out who he is, but in the process of figuring out who he is, he ends up doing more damage to the world until he ends up being on his own. He ends up being neglected and left alone, except for the fact that he still has his uncle. But by the time he's in book 2, he doesn't really have the support of the crown. He doesn't have a ship anymore. He doesn't have any semblance, any memories that remind him that he's still a prince, really, apart from the knowledge that, he was born a prince.
I want the Avatar. I want my honor, my throne.
All that convolution stuff happens, but at the end of the series, he realizes that he gets to choose his own destiny, and he ends up seeing his role in bringing balance to the world, and then becomes like this amazing, awesome human being who like creates the new future for that world, even though his father and his forefathers were the ones who were destroying it. Bomb character development. Katara's development is mostly contained in just her abilities and also her getting closure regarding the death of her mom. That's really cool. And then just seeing her become master of her craft is amazing. Me and her have a very similar personality, and I love her.
Sokka, wait! You shouldn't be eating strange plants!
Can I get some of that cactus?
I don't think that's a good idea. Come on, we need to find Aang.
And then Sokka's a goof. He's the comedic relief of the series. But his development is more about him seeing where his gifts are and how he can contribute to bringing balance to the world. And his gifts come in the form of strategy. And then developing that strategy is something that people end up depending on him for. His development when it comes to understanding gender roles and not being so traditionalistic with them, because when you're in the water tribe, the whole water nation system, like gender roles are just like really, women are expected to only heal and not fight. And then Katara is the one who's basically, I'm gonna fight the patriarchy, and I am not gonna just be a healer. No, I'm gonna be a fighter too, which is why Katara's awesome. And then Toph is great because she's already a really developed character. She's a disability, which is the fact that she's blind, but she's not let that stop her at all. She's fully confident in who she is.
I don't care what I look like. I'm not looking for anyone's approval. I know who I am.
She's used her disability to have an advantage over other people. People miscalculate her all the time.
People see me and think I'm weak. They want to take care of me.
Second of all, she has this ability to just connect directly with the earth to sense her entire surroundings, which makes her really dangerous to fight against. She basically has like the Byakugan. Yeah, so characters are amazing. They're fantastic. Azula's a good character too. I mean, her development is kind of like a melting mess, but you see this composed female villain essentially just decompose herself and become completely insane, essentially. The fifth reason why Avatar is the best cartoon of all time is they pay homage to a lot of different cultures, and they actually incorporate various Asian cultures into the art of the show and into the culture of the show, in terms of the food that's shown on the show, in terms of like the calligraphy that's shown on the show. Like they incorporate different cultures into that, and even in terms of like just the practices that people have in the show when it comes to funerals, when it comes to like the Tibetan monks, all that type of stuff. And I think what they also do really well is the martial arts in the TV show. Fighting in Avatar is beautiful. I mean, the idea is awesome. They took traditional martial arts and they combined it with an element. Yes, you can manipulate water, you can manipulate earth, you can manipulate air, you can manipulate fire, but let's take it further. The manipulation of water will be based on Tai Chi. The manipulation of earth will be based on Hungar style. The manipulation of fire will be based on Northern Shaolin Kung Fu, and the manipulation of air will be based on Bagua style. And they actually had a martial arts consultant, Sifu Kisu, and they were the ones to essentially choreograph the martial arts in the show, and then the creators would base the animation based on their choreography of each martial arts and its correlation with the element that it was associated with. Yeah, I found that really awesome. Northern Shaolin is a Chinese martial, I mean they're all Chinese martial arts, but Northern Shaolin for me with the kicks and stuff reminds me a lot of Taekwondo. And so when I do Taekwondo, I'm just like, yes, I'm doing firebending. The sixth reason, and if not the final reason, there are more reasons, but like, let me just keep this video tight and short. The sixth reason is the themes in this TV show. The themes. Imagine being 10 and understanding war. Imagine being 10 and understanding destiny. Yeah, that's what Avatar did for me. When I was a little kid, I didn't obviously have never been in a war, but I understood the damage it could do from this TV show and how the damage differed. The damage wasn't just about death, essentially. The damage, it was a mental type of deterioration. It was a fear that would spread across the world. It was domination. It was the change of government, the change of thinking. It was essentially controlling the minds of people massively. And there's a genocide that is the basis for the show. That's why it's called The Last Airbender, because that main character, he was the one who escaped the genocide of his own people. So that is like pretty heavy stuff to call the show Avatar The Last Airbender, the last person who exists in the Air Nation because they were wiped out by the Fire Nation because they were searching for him. They wanted to wipe out the next Avatar so that they could have more power on the Earth and they could do what they wanted to do to advance their goals. The Fire Nation, I mean, is like pretty dark. And then the whole themes of destiny. It's when someone tells you, like, no, this is what your life is going to be. And you believe that your destiny is based on the path that was laid out for you instead of the path that you've chosen for yourself. And then that's why one of the best episodes in this entire series is called Crossroads of Destiny, which is the idea that there are crossroads that you can choose this way or that way. You see Zuko has a choice and he chooses wrong. Spoiler alert. That's why I think Avatar is amazing. I mean, I could keep going. Like, I am the biggest Avatar The Last Airbender fan. I've been a fan for 15 years now, and I've read all the comics, I've read all the mangas, and yes, there were Avatar mangas. They were by Tokyo Pop. Great stuff. Back in the day, it's actually how I got into Avatar. And then I remember watching the commercials in school. Like, I don't know, it's a lot of things, but yeah, I love Avatar. Avatar is great. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you go and decide to watch Avatar after this and let me know why you love it and let me know if I missed a reason. Comment below another reason why Avatar is so impactful and why it's the best cartoon, no, best TV series of all time, and why literally everyone should watch it. And plus there's going to be the live action TV series that's coming out on Netflix that's coming soon. Hopefully they don't butcher it. I mean, it's possible.
Unless this is the future.
But like, I have trust in Brian Konietzko and Mike DiMartino. I really do. They are the ones who are creating the TV show. They're the ones who are executive producing the TV show, and they did the same for Avatar The Last Airbender, the cartoon. So I have faith that they're going to do a good job. I really want to see deeper character development. I want to see them go deep into the details of Avatar. That anything that was glossed over, I want them to like dive deep. I'm really concerned about the casting. I want the characters in the live action to look like the characters in the show. I don't want any like discrepancies there because it's gonna take me out of it immediately. I need Katara to look like Katara and I need Aang to look like Aang. I don't need this happening again. Like that's just not okay with me. That does not sit right with me at all. If they can get the casting right, I'll be happy. Voices, I mean, voices are difficult. You'll never have a voice like Zuko, so people drop that real quick. Unless you get Dante Bosco to dub the actor's voice, it's never gonna happen. But I'm excited nonetheless. Yeah. Anyways, those are my 2 cents. Goodbye. Ciao.
Hey, I got my eye on you.
Water tribe.
Only the Avatar. Only the Avatar. Master all 4 elements and bring balance to the world. Only the Avatar, only the Avatar, only the Avatar can master all 4 elements and bring balance to the world. Only the Avatar, only the Avatar.
Cactus juice, it'll quench you.
Nothing special. It's the glitchiest.
Spring, summer and fall. Winter, spring, summer and fall. 4 seasons, 4 loves, 4 seasons.